we go.
What's good? It's Marianne and Rexi, and we are 5150 on a Saturday afternoon. So today, first, how's Rexi this day?
Oh, I'm doing okay. The weather is warm. We've had like major tornadoes for the past 3 days.
Oh, no
So
way. I know
all over.
Saskatchewan
Yep.
got them here. So did you get any like near you?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Actually, not in my actual town. It's like pretty much what we've got in my county. We had a couple of tornado watches, but like
Okay.
further south, they actually got hit by tornadoes. So it's been like storms for like 3 days. So it's pretty much now. It's kind of like yeah, today we don't have any rain today. Well, we might have it later, but it's just been like 4 days of like storms and tornadoes and tornado watches and flooding watches and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know that Saskatchewan and Winnipeg got a ton of flooding and stuff like that. But okay. I figured out. Okay, the restream. I've got the people sending. My friend Kirk is on. Hi, Kirk. No one. Oh, yeah, that's one thing. I guess I should clear up right now. My friend Kirk Reese, who I do a whistleblower podcast space with him during the week with his co-host Sue Sproul, and I'm like a third wheel. Now, Kirk has been listening to the show, being really loyal, and that's amazing, and I appreciate him. His friend listened to it, and he said, "How does she know? How those girls know so much about music?" And he said, "Well, I think they're groupies." So we need to clear this up right away. Rexi and I know personally, and I know Rexi either. That was just not our thing. Like the shows in the front, I've always thought of it that way. You know, the only after party I've ever been to was the one with Lars Ulrich when he cheated on his wife, and I would never go again. I went to the U2 one because I danced on stage with Bono, which I'll show the footage one day. Maybe I'll show it on the anniversary of it in July or August when I went. Basically, I worked 3 jobs. And see, here's Kate. Yeah, Kirk's like, haha, I learned the difference. It's like, yeah. So we would consider ourselves to be music aficionados, as to be fancy. But I worked 2 jobs. I worked as a legal secretary, and I did dog grooming and worked at a dog store. And so that's how I got my money. That's how. And Rexi, when you got your tickets, how are you making your money?
Oh my gosh. Well, basically, how I got tickets to go see concerts and all that fun stuff. Well, basically, I had to save for them when I was a kid in high school. Since before we were able to work, I would have to get an allowance.
Okay.
To give me an allowance, I would like mow the lawns, clean the house, do things.
Yeah.
Like
See,
that.
I worked at a banquet hall.
And you probably
at Thunderbird Golf Course. And so they were giving we get tips, right? So I get like $50 in tips. I was like 14. I was like, yeah. And that's like basically back then, that was like a concert ticket and a t-shirt.
Okay. Well, basically how I got to do it before I started working any kind of jobs at all, before I was like 15 or 16. I was also a smoker by the time I was 14, 15. And pretty much our lives, this is how we basically survived in my teenage years in the 80s. We would basically, or at least definitely me, the money that we would get for lunches and anything like that, we would probably only spend our money on a pack of smokes and maybe something to drink, or like something like super cheap at a fast food place or something like that. See, we were able to go off campus. So pretty much, I don't think I spent more than maybe $1 or so on something to eat for lunch.
Fries and gravy.
And cigarettes back then were like 85 cents. So at the most, it was like
they were $1.25 up here in Canada.
Well, I'm talking about like 1983.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're about $1.25 up here in Canada, which is about 80 cents American.
Obnoxious. That's what it is. You guys are just obnoxious. So, so pretty much saved up on, hardly. So my lunch would be something to drink and cigarettes and maybe something to snack on, but nothing much. So we could save up for making sure we had the tickets and hopefully he had a supply of smokes and lighters. So when we get to go to the concert.
Nice. Now, what was your first concert?
My first job. You'll love my first job.
No, my first concert. Your first concert.
First concert. Oh, my first concert was Ozzy. It was
Oh, see, I did Dio. Isn't that funny, eh? I don't know if everybody knows this, but Rexy and I, quite literally, are born the same year, and Rexy's born the day before me. And now she went and saw Ozzy, and my first show was Dio with Black Sabbath. So that's
yeah.
so cool. We have
Mine
this
was
really cool contrast.
yeah, mine was the Bark at the Moon tour, and the one that opened up, believe it or not, was the Shot the Devil for Motley Crue. So that was the first one I ever saw.
Nice.
Yeah, so
That
it
Bark
was
at the Moon, that
cool.
was Jakey Lee, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I was way too young to see Randy, which is what I wanted. So that's why I'm
Oh,
still
yeah,
scarred to this day with the whole problem with it. But I love Jake. Jake is great. I
yes.
think after Jakey Lee, I really pretty much never really bothered with Ozzy too much afterwards. Um, no diss on Zach Wild or anything,
I'm a
but
huge
I
Black
kind of,
Label Society fan, so I
yeah,
love Zach. I think he's hilarious. I
you
think
know,
everything about him is just like he
well,
and what he's doing.
he was kind of a prick. I
Oh,
saw him
really?
live. He was kind of a prick live.
Hmm.
When I saw them with the what was it? No Rest for the Wicked tour.
Okay.
So he was all bragging about how much beer he had in the back, and he had this attitude. I can't remember what it was. I think my boyfriend heard him say something about he thought he was better than Randy Rhoads. So
Oh boy,
yeah, you gotta
those are.
watch that
I,
shit. You don't get,
wow.
yeah. So it's kind of like Zach Wild wasn't the greatest start for us. He didn't give us the greatest impression at first, because I
Right.
saw the tour and everything. But I think he's a great guitar player. Need be. He started. It took a while for him to really grow on me with personality wise,
Okay.
but musician wise, I'm never gonna knock his guitar playing. He's got great guitar playing.
Yeah, he's fucking great. Like I'm a big Pride and Glory fan, which was his original band, and then I'm a huge Black Label Society fan. So, and for me, like I also don't know Zach that way, right? Like I saw Zach like the last time was a long time ago. I think the 2004. So it was after 2004 because the last time I saw them, Dime had been assassinated.
Oh,
So it was after that when he wrote In This River. But before that, when it was just like regular Black Label, before they had the Dime attachment to it, I saw a lot of shows. I saw a lot of him, especially opening in Ozfest and things like that. And Trujillo was in the band one time when I saw them, and so yeah, for me, I had a different experience with Zach because he was just kind of crazy and silly, and I was, I had a good time. Actually, one of the accidents that Lars and Elon paid to have happen. I was at a Black Label Society show in Rochester, New York in March of 2005, and they had lantern lights, traffic lights, and Canadians aren't used to those things. And we drove through it, but we had the green, but this woman fucking T-boned the shit out of us. And that's what started my TMJ. And the idea was that I was supposed to get in so much pain that I'd kill myself.
but if
Because Lars,
anybody really want to know why I'm so good with music and the music, it started
yeah,
when I was a child. So I was a musician by the time I was 7. So I played in the orchestra as I was a violinist for several years before I picked up guitar at 14. So it was pretty much something that I was always a major deep interest since childhood. I was into like heavy metal since as long as I can remember. Since
yeah.
basically, like I told you, I grew up on listening to Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith
Yeah,
and
my Led Zeppelin shirt on for you today. I don't think you can see it, but this is a Led Zeppelin shirt. You
I
can't
can see
see
the
it.
blue. I can't see any logo or anything
Well, there's
on there.
like a logo, sort of a logo. It's old, right? So it's
Oh,
old
okay.
like me. So what are you gonna do?
We're
So
not
yeah, so
old. We're just upper
we're
middle age.
medium. That's why I say we're medium. We're
We're
medium.
middle age still. We're
Yeah,
just like basically
medium.
the seniors of the middle age.
Yeah, definitely. But whatever. It's like I said to the lady today, that I had to pick up some makeup and stuff. I'm like, I'd love to not wear makeup on this thing, but like I'm too old. It's like
Well, they're not very
camera's unforgiving.
flattering. These cameras, they make you look. Oh my God, what the hell happened to me? I didn't look like
Hmm.
that in the mirror this morning.
Well, that's the thing. Well, I did that truth table with Paul Everett, who I have to thank. Paul Everton. This guy is the one that got me on camera shy, and I did this truth table where we talk about what actually this MK Ultra stuff that happened to me, all the yucky stuff. And he gave me 2 hours of his time. It was great. It was amazing, and he got my stage fright off. Like it just stopped it. But I was wearing no makeup and the lighting was really bad. And so my psycho sister, who I never, it shows up once a decade to tell me how ugly and stupid I am. decided that, oh yeah, no, we saw your video. I'm like, oh, you're a fan. All right. Right. So yeah. Hey, Beth, you fucking bitch. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, she was telling me, she was like, you're reconnect your Rumble. Oh, is my Rumble not on? It's telling me that I reconnect your Rumble. Anyway, but we've got it on X. I can put it on. I'll upload it onto Rumble after. I'm not going to fucking play tech thing, whatever. Okay, so today we're gonna talk definitely about the most important thing of the week, which was last Saturday night, which was the opening show of the Rush celebration with Anika Niles on drums and Lauren Gold on keyboards, who's not getting enough love. Mr. Gold, you are just doing amazing. This week, Getty and Alex are just like horsing around on stage. Getty doesn't have to play keyboards, and this guy's just nailing it now. And of course, we'll talk about Anika, who is amazing. I mean, everybody, I was positive she was going to nail it. I had seen some videos of hers where she was doing some live performances. I have to send those actually to Dave Wright. I forgot, because he's calling her a B-leaguer, and I'm like, no, she's not a B-leaguer. He's like, well, what's she done besides play Neil Peart? I've seen kids do those drum fills. And I'm like, okay, I'll find some stuff. But I forgot to do it this week. I was busy. But anyway, so we're going to do that. But first, we're going to go through more bullshit, because that's just what happens. And this is what we do. We do all truth, no fillers. Now, as you guys know, this continuing saga with fucking Metallica. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to say it. James, fucking pay me and stop. Like, enough. And I'm sick of it. And it's just like, so anyway, what happened was today is Callie Hetfield's birthday. Now, I'm just going to show everybody, like, I Googled it. As you can see, her birthday is June 13th, 1998. I mentioned it a few weeks ago, and I believe that's probably why we've triggered, nope, that's not what I'm going to show yet. And there it is right there. So June 13th, 1998, that's today. Yesterday on Instagram, Francesca, his ex-wife, and I had been talking back and forth. I've been discussing with her sort of what's going on with what's going on legally with basically what happened was, and I guess I'll get into it now, is that my house, basically the area that I was living in, people were gang stalking me in exchange for medical equipment. You can check, if you go onto my X page, it's all there. You can follow the whistleblower space that I attend Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., hosted by Kirk Reese and Sue Sproul. You can get, there are copies of the podcast. The Spaces, the X Spaces. Anyway, so basically while I was up there in 2022, they were medically testing me without my consent. My mother was a human trafficker. She's hiding in South Carolina. Her name is Marjorie, under the alias Marjorie Pezzo. She's living in Hilton Head with a guy named Steve Pizzo. And he's had 5 aliases. And her real name is Marge McCraney, or Marge Jacobson Taylor. She's 82. When she was 77, literally 2 days ago, 6 months to the day, 2 days ago, she got on an airplane, and I never saw her again. Within a year, I was getting text messages saying, kill yourself, you're Satan. I couldn't even talk. Since she got down there, the guy would not let me talk to her one-on-one. It was always on speaker. And she left everything behind. My mother has $1 million home on the water, and basically everything, all her belongings, all her jewelry, like tens of thousands of dollars in jewelry, as well as like priceless antiques, heirloom stuff, as well as a document that I have donated to the International African American Museum in her name, which is actually a real slave contract. My mother is a racist. My brother wanted to burn this thing. So basically when she left, I sent it down to the museum, and I donated it in her name. So she's never been back up. As well, she left all her identification behind, which seems suspect. Now, prior to that, in 2012, her husband was dying in the hospital of Alzheimer's, and he'd been in there since 2010. He wasn't dying fast enough for her. So somebody paid for her to have a $60,000 facelift, and it wasn't her, because she was telling me that she was broke from paying for all the medication for him, and she actually cut my stepdad off his medication. So how she paid for a $60,000 facelift, someone will have to ask her. Now, So that was first. Then there was these strange behaviors when I finally she asked me to come up in 2014 after my stepfather died because she needed a hand with the house. I got there. There were 21 animals, 6 inches of animal feces all over the basement floor. It was a disaster. And she was basically trying to isolate and gaslight me. She was telling my brother things that I was basically not helping, being a mooch, blah, 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 on drugs, da, da, da. Anyway, doing everything she could so my brother would have a hate on for me. And my brother was a mama's boy. So the fact that she hasn't called him with respect to his wife dying is disgusting. Today's show is dedicated to Stephanie Luella Schweitzer Jacobson, the love of my brother's life, who passed away 6 years ago on the 12th. So 2 days after my mother left Canada, she was killed in a cycling accident, which I don't believe was an accident. I don't believe in coincidences, and I have done everything I could, but people just don't want to believe me, and that's fine, but I just don't believe it. She was an excellent cyclist. She was only 36, and it's way too close in time. With that, we'll just continue on. So basically what happened was in 2022, these people were torturing my animals. They killed 10 of them. Out of 21 animals, 2 died naturally, and then 10 were actually killed by the locals. The veterinarian as well, Richard Lefebvre, got involved as well. So anyway, in 2018, as I've said before on the show, 2017, first of all, Lars Ulrich and his wife, Jessica, showed up at the Airbnb next door to my house. I was blowing snow out of my driveway. I turned off the snowblower and walked in the house because I wanted nothing. I had nothing to say to the fucking guy. He stole from me. I knew, and that's another thing we're going to talk about when we talk about Rush, but I knew that he was stalking me. I contacted Q Prime in 2006 by phone, by fax, and by hard copy letter, and did a cease and desist on Lars. And they didn't do anything. They didn't even, they did nothing. They wouldn't even answer my calls. That's Peter Mensch and Cliff Bernstein. So they wouldn't answer my calls. And for that, I say shame on you, because I had another 16 years of torture because of you. You could have done something about it. You could have stopped me. The least you could have done is fucking told James. So anyway, in 2012, after 2011, when they used my anniversary idea, I was online. I was very vocal about it. And James, I believe it was Castor that found out. Somebody, one of the kids found out online and told James. James started stalking me through my friends in high school. He got a hold of my friend Rob McCullough. He got a hold of my friend Leanne Baxter. And Rob showed up, and Rob works in a factory. So it's not like he's rich. And it was we went to see Down in 2014 together. And Rob paid for everything, including an Airbnb. Now, I don't expect that kind of generosity from people. So I was really surprised. And really what it was James was paying for everything. Rob and I have been to a couple of concerts. We went to Heavy TO together, where I met David Ellefson for the first time and Chris Broderick. They were selling copies of Super Collider, but here's the trap. And this is how they claimed to get my address, even though Lars already had it. They had the Super Collider. You could fill out a form and pay $10. You got to meet the band, and they would mail you your copy of Super Collider. And really what it was they were fishing for my address, which they had done before, fishing for my name and photo, which I'll show the photograph another day. But in 1999 at Met New Year's Eve, I went to a chapter of the Mad Party, and they on New Year's the day before New Year's Eve with my friend Kevin. And they had a raffle, so I had to write my name down. And they then took a photograph of me with my name just to confirm who I was. And they shared that with somebody who will, our mystery person. And that was how and then after that was the first attempt on my life in 2000 when I was pushed down a 40-foot escalator. Anyways, so after all of these horrible things that happened in 2022 and then in 2018, after I went out to BC and was framed by Leanne Beveridge, and her husband, Mark, I came home, and one day I was growing pot, right? Because I could, and I could smell it burning.
Good.
Because I could. Welcome to Canada, right? Well, it was a year. It just become legal in Canada when I was growing it. So I grew it a couple of years. I grew it a couple of years before. I lied to my mother and told her that I had a card. I now have my medicinal marijuana card. My doctor got it for me. But, and yeah, best doctor. You know, I have an amazing GP. He doesn't believe any of this shit that they set up at the hospital in Owen Sound. You know, he knows, like I said to him, $60 million worth of medical equipment in a decade for a population of 170,000 is not anywhere else in Canada. So they did something to get that. And as I said, Zach Wild, speaking of Zach Wild, everybody knows about what was going on up there. And Zach Wild made a joke because these people now have 4 CAT scans when they had none when I moved up there. And Zach Wild made a joke on he does these little shorts. And he said, dogs can't purr, but cats can. So, and that, you know, I mean, they were telling me what was going on. Everybody was. Oh, okay. And so, yeah, well, he said it, you know, like, I mean, he's like, dogs don't purr, but cats can, you know, and that's like, he knew I was watching because I watch all Zach's videos because I think he's hysterical. Since he quit drinking, I think he's funny because he loves action figures like me.
His personality got better.
Yeah, I guess so, right? But he also likes action figures, right? Or as his wife likes to call them, his dolls. So he always comes out like he does the Pantera walk and he brings like the Ultimate Warrior with like his Aussie action figure and he goes around the stage going, yeah! And everybody laughs and it's just a lot of fun. So it's different now. But you know, Zach knew I was watching. Zach, I've talked to him before on like a chat where he was like, you know, do you like Frank Marino? And I'm like, no, but I like Yngwie Malmsteen. He's like, cool. So
just,
you know,
not donuts. Just don't talk about donuts.
No donuts. That's you know, I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do that. I wanted to do like a charity fundraiser and have people raise money to get Yngwie to eat donuts. I thought that would be amazing.
Well, I don't know how well he knows about American donuts or not, but you could like get him, like, you know, tell him, I got some munchkins. You want one of these? And just don't tell him what they are.
Well, it was Dunkin' Donuts that Dime was trying to feed him. They were the pink ones that I love so much. And Dunkin' Donuts is coming back to Canada. It's too political to get into this show, but yeah, Dunkin' Donuts is coming to Canada again. And they're hiring all Canadians as opposed to our temporary foreign workers who've stolen all of our Canadian jobs. But we're not going to go there. So anyway, basically what happened was in November of 2023 or October of 2023, a Jeep Rubicon, it was pouring rain outside, a Jeep Rubicon pulled into my driveway. And so in 2018, as I said, James set fire to my pot garden. He was over in my neighbor John Walker. The Airbnb was next door at Sue and Tony Crutcher's place. It was $3,500 a weekend. I believe that James and Marcella were staying there, as well as the year before Lars and his wife, who showed up in a helicopter. James didn't show up in a helicopter. So, but when they set fire to my garden, they were in John Walker's property. And you've seen the property layout. It's very rural. There's no coincidence here. And I could tell it was Marcella because she's got white blonde hair. And we just don't have that color blonde in Ontario. We just don't have that access to sunlight unless you're bleaching it. And even then it looks bleached. So she's a natural California blonde. Yeah. You know, and she was wearing periwinkle. So, I mean, photographic memory. So in 2023, in October, on a rainy night, Jeep Rubicon pulled into my driveway and out popped Marcella and Callie Hatfield. And Callie served me with what's called an application record. And what it was, an application record was to evict me from my mother's home. Now, my mother hasn't been back to Canada. Okay. My mother hasn't seen my brother since his wife died. My mother hasn't contacted any of her friends except by cryptic email. She has not been back in Canada. I had the FBI track her down. It took them 3 fucking years because she was playing cat and mouse with the local sheriff. She would not come out and identify herself. And then finally, the FBI said, look, if you don't come out, we are going to put you on the International Missing Persons list. And then we are going to basically pull you over. If you cross state lines, if you go to any airport, you will be stopped. And she came out and they told me she acted like a person who didn't want to be found. And I believe my mother was paid to leave. Like in 2021, she stopped paying her taxes and she stopped using credit. So where is she getting this money from? Because she didn't have that kind of money where she could just go on the lam and it's not the husband, because why isn't she paying her taxes? Like she owns a home up here in Canada. That home that I'm talking about is in Kemble, Ontario, and basically it's right on the water. It's primo land. It should have sold by now, and it basically came off the market on the 31st of May for like the 5th time. It has not sold, and the reason being is that you have to have photo identification from the person to sell the house. And basically what's happened is that these people, because of what's been going on up there, they're banking on the fact that my mother's gone, right? So they're able to lie about this because we have very corrupt government right now, and we're still in that flux. And they believe that Justin Trudeau is still alive and things like that, and that's fine. I figured that all in good time this will come to him. So Callie thought she'd be clever, and they decided that they were going to evict me from my mother's home. Now I had been tortured since 2014, and in 2022 2023 was actually dragged to the hospital and held in the psychiatric ward and punched in the face and all sorts of things, and Callie just didn't give a shit. And Callie, I believe, has a baby with a young man named Matt Treslin. His father is the author of the application record, Errol Treslin, and Matt signed the affidavit of service and said he served me the same day that the affidavit is signed. The affidavit is a forgery. I will show the pictures of the affidavit signature, and I also have the affidavit of service. Okay, so this is the forged signature. My mother's name is Marge McCraney, McCraney, so it's spelt wrong right off the bat. It's spelt wrong. Everybody can screenshot that and judge for yourself. This is my mother's signature on her social insurance number. As you can see, they're nothing alike. So anyways, I tried to fight. What happened was Matthew filed the documents at somebody filed the documents at the courthouse. Here it is here. Everybody can take a screenshot of this because right here, I can't make it any bigger because I don't know how. But to the left, or my left, your left too, because they're all facing there, is the affidavit of service that Matthew Treslin signed saying he served me in August of 2023. Now that's a lie because Callie and Marcella served me in October of 2023, and the hearing was in November. So I had no time to prepare, absolutely zero. So basically, the idea was to kick me out of the house the day of. Oh, that was cheating. The day that they evicted me was the day that I became homeless because of Lars in 2004. I was living with somebody, and I was renting a room from him, and without telling me, I'd been on tour, sort of running around with doing like the 13 shows with Metallica where I spent $18,000, and he didn't tell me, and he basically came home one day and said, oh, I put out lease, you got to be out in like tomorrow or something. Like I had no notice or anything. So that's when I started couch surfing, and I ended up staying with my friend Kevin for like a year. It was just like, it was just terrible. I'd never been homeless before. So it was like the goal with all of this was to try and make me kill myself, but it didn't work. So, anyways, so basically what's happened is that I believe that's Callie's signature. So I believe Callie committed forgery. And because what the idea was, I believe, this is what I believe, is that they were trying to play a trick on me, because these people love to play these really, really horrible practical jokes. And like Lars was bad for them too, right? Like hurting people, especially with Jason. I'm sure Jason can tell you about a lot of things they did to him that were just.
Ooh, I'd love to hear about that.
I'd love to hear from Jason.
We're trying to get Jason to come on and tell us.
I should, I will. I'll ask him. I mean, I can put it out there. He seems to be pretty open about what's happened, but that'd be up to him. I mean, a lot of people don't want to touch me because I'm a hot potato. I mean, they've got me so heavily shadow banned on X. I love the fact that there are people seeing this. Share it as much as you can. I'm shadow banned, but we are getting viewers, and the truth will get out there. So basically, I believe that in 2022, Callie had a baby with Matt Treslin in the spring of 2022. Matt Treslin is from Owen Sound, Ontario. So she was living up in the area that I lived in. And so was Marcella. And now, whether they were there just a summer, I don't know. She must have been living there full time if she had a baby with somebody. Now, I can do, and I said this to everybody, I said this to Rexi just before you came online, I will do a birth certificate search in Colorado and Ontario, or someone else who's a who's a journalist, like do your fucking homework here. And all you have to do is now you have the name of the father. All you need are the name of the father and the mother, and you have the mother's birth date. You can find a birth certificate registry. It's very easy. You don't need the date. So, and you have the year 2022. So anyways, since that, okay, so I ended up, when I got out of the house, Matthew came, I recognized him right away. And I don't know why, but I said, "Oh, you're Callie's boyfriend." And he said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And basically, he started filming me. And I went in the house, I started to have chest pains. So then the provincial bailiff showed up, and I said, "Look, like I had 9 animals. There was nothing, there was nowhere I could go. There was nothing I could do. They fucking knew it." And the idea was that James was going to show up. Like it was supposed to be like, oh, da, 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 and then James goes, "Who's your daddy?" Right? But she thought this was a funny joke. And the thing is that when they filed this shit in August, she didn't tell her dad. He was on tour, so she didn't tell him till September. And when he did the Arizona show, he actually had to cancel the show that night and said he got COVID. And he didn't. What he did was she took his breath away. He didn't know what to say, right? But he didn't do it. He didn't fucking stop it. He didn't contact me. Like there were ways that he could have stopped this, and he didn't. And then on November 29th, 2023, I started to have chest pains, and I had a panic attack. The woman called an ambulance for me, and I was taken to Owen Sound Hospital, now known as Bright Shores Health System. And I was held there for 34 days because under the Mental Health Act in Canada, if you don't have anywhere to go, you go to the bug ward, because what they're trying to do is discredit me. Right? Every time I go to the bug ward, it looks like I'm crazy, right? Whereas my doctor has even said, you have CPTSD and that's it, right? Everything else is bullshit. So, Callie was trying to play a dirty trick on me, and it didn't work out. And what happened was the 9 animals that were inside that house, most of them senior, are now all displaced, and some of them are dead, thinking I abandoned them, because this was 2.5 years ago. And all of my mother's property is gone. My property is gone because they held me for 34 days because if eviction, they hold your property for 30 days after that. So 34 days, they threw out all my stuff, all my pictures of my dad, anything I had that had to do with my family. I have nothing. I had the fucking shirt on my back. That's what you gave me, Callie. It wasn't a joke. And then I even tried to contract Errol Truslin back when this happened, and Errol wouldn't talk to me. And I said, "Look, I'm self-represented. You have to talk to me." And he refused. So the whole thing was just dirty pool. I was told that a judge was bribed. Judge Wilkinson signed the eviction papers. So anyway, I ended up homeless. I ended up getting trafficked for labor during 2024 by a guy named Randy Anderson down in Markdale, Ontario. And then in October, I ran for my life. And it's all, I got it detailed on my X page. I really don't want to get into this is why I'm getting rid of this first. And then we're going to go on to the good stuff, the rush stuff and that. So anyway, so one of the things that Francesca is playing dumb. Okay. And here's another picture. There's another picture of Callie. I found some picture that might be her that's recent, but I can't positively identify her. So I'm not going to bring it up. Now, these Francesca, a few weeks ago, I mentioned Callie's birth date online. So Francesca has been lying. Okay. One of the things she lied about is not knowing who Evelyn was, who is the person who had the affair with James. Rexi loves her, or Evelyn Shiflett. So basically, I mentioned it. It came out in online news, and Francesca said, "I don't know a woman named Evelyn that's ever been our housekeeper." Well, no, she was the house sitter. And she said, we have never owned property in Ontario. Well, maybe you haven't, but James did. And James was buying up property up in that area. So both his daughters were up there. So she likes to lie because she's trying to cover up for her family. But every time she does, she fucks herself more because I just pull up more proof. So yesterday, instead of today, which is Callie's birthday, she decided to wish Callie a happy birthday. So there's her Instagram page. And instead of leaving it open, was born.
She seems so sweet.
Satan in a fucking skirt. Yeah, here's another one. And as you can see, no, I mean, I'm sure, but apparently she was well, she's the firstborn, as well as she participated in humiliating James during his alcoholism by videotaping James. James had a pornography addiction. So he would get really drunk and masturbate to online pornography. And they would take video, they would take video of him jerking off, not jerking off, but passed out with his works in his hands, covered in cum. Well, they thought the best way, because this is what Lars was teaching her, was that the best way to get him was to humiliate him, right? Because he's a Leo, so he's got a lot of ego. So that's what she was doing. And Callie was participating. Callie was participating. And when they moved up to, when he had this place in Ontario, she came up, and I was told that James was kept telling to her, why don't you have a baby? Why don't you have a baby? And what he was hoping was she would fucking leave. Because apparently she's very bossy and just very domineering. Obviously, we see by this nasty trick she pulled on me. Anyway, so basically, Francesca's lying for her. We have the one thing I went to do today was I went online, and there somebody on Instagram said, oh, you're spitting a lot of shit. You don't know this stuff, And I had mentioned James' grandson, which is the baby that was born in 2018. 2022, pardon me. And I went to Google. I Googled, and it used to have the image under James Hetfield, baby boy, Hawaii, and you could find the photograph. It's gone. Now, where did it go? I don't know. However, I'm a resourceful motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And I just happen to have it. Oh, there it is. Look. There it is. So tell me that's not something that belongs to you. It's not just that's not a stranger's baby. Not the way he's holding it. And underneath he wrote something like, son, every wave has a blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's his grandson. That kid looks like Matt Treslin. Okay. And there's also a picture here. Now, I don't know if this is him, but there's a little boy that's from Marcella's page, and he's in I think they're in Uruguay, which is where Francesca's family's. She's from Argentina. Yeah. So
America, yeah.
So Fran has denied having grandchildren. However, I don't believe that. Now, the one thing that I'm going to say is that today, with it being Callie's birthday, Castor and Bastardine have released a video that's called Mother Tongue. I'm going to play it at the end of the show. If you want to stay and watch it, great. Marcella and Callie are in the video. They're wearing makeup and stuff. So I can't tell, and I really don't care. I know what they did. And as I said yesterday to Francesca before I blocked her, was they need to get honest. They need to get good with this. They need to go to the FBI, tell them what they know, and ask for leniency, because I am going to go after them in a criminal manner for grand larceny and conspiracy to grand larceny, as well as fraud and forgery and filing illegal court documents. And it will happen, but I have to wait, because right now it's too much of a rabbit hole to go down. And right now, the police up there were involved. Everybody was involved. And it was all in exchange for kickbacks, promotions, and this $60 million worth of medical equipment. Now, why Callie would think that it was a good idea to torture me after what I had already been through, I do not know. Why she thought it was a good idea to hurt my animals and have them abandoned, I do not know. I do believe, and I'm not trying to make an excuse, I do believe that she had postpartum depression. And I've also been told that she did nothing but smoke dabs, which is concentrated THC. So, because her dad opened her a company called the Gas Company. And it was basically a vape cartridge company. And so, so she, she was stealing my ideas too. Everybody was stealing my fucking ideas. And so for me, just the fact that, I'm more mad about the animals, right? Abandoning my animals is something I would never do. I'd rather die. And so for me to lose those animals in the fashion that, she thought she was so funny, and it's like, that's fucking evil. Like, you're pathological. That's all I have to say is, like, anybody who does something like that is a fucking pathological person. And the fact that she was able to get her father-in-law to go along with it, because she thought she'd get away with it, because she's a nepo baby and she's James Hetfield's daughter. She thought she was going to get away with it, and she has so far. But the best part is that I'm 5150, so y'all can call me crazy as much as you like, but I've got proof. And the problem is that I've contacted the Law Society of Upper Canada and the Real Estate Council of Ontario, and the Real Estate Council of Ontario told me that I need to call the cops, and I can't.
You know what it is that there's some people who should just not procreate. You know, just maybe certain rock stars should not be allowed.
Well, this is the thing. I look at Dave Grohl's girls, right? I look at the 3 girls that Dave's got, and Violet is just come out with her first album, and she did it all herself. She did. Her dad found out about it. Like, she just sat him down and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I've got a recording contract, and I'm working with this producer." She didn't fucking ask for dad's help. Now, her name, obviously, she said, like, I can't help it. That's my name. Same with Castor. Castor said, we are our father's sons. There's nothing we can do about it. Now, Bastardine's pretty good. They're not bad. Like, they're super heavy. Like, if you love stoner rock, they're amazing. Like, they're really good for a fresh new band. So, I mean, he's the only one that stayed out of this. And that was the other thing, was that Fran, on Castor's birthday, she left it open for everybody to wish Castor a happy birthday. Callie's is closed, so nobody can mention anything, because then I might have said something. Right? And it's the same with Lars. Fake Lars didn't wish both of his sons, Lane and Miles, both had birthdays, and he did not wish them a happy birthday this year on Instagram. So there's all sorts of things that are starting to tell. I mean, I'm sure the boys have probably said, keep me the fuck out of this. And, so for Callie, my birthday wish to you is, may you get what you deserve. And, this one's for Stephanie. Well, it's a Buddhist mantra. May you get what you deserve. So that's it. And any questions there, Rex?
Me? Questions?
Okay.
No, I've heard that. I know about this. So,
yeah, you knew the story, but
it's free to ask. It's just, just my snarky little comments about the whole thing. You got demon children. That's all. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, Dave Grohl's 3 daughters are like making it work, right? I mean, Castor got a job. Callie's a nepo baby. Same with Marcella. Marcella doesn't have a job. Callie doesn't have a job, and Callie makes mediocre pottery. She actually blocked me on Instagram. I never said anything to her. She blocked me on Instagram, and she hasn't had a photo. Everybody else can go to her Instagram page. She hasn't had a photograph of herself up there since 2022, and that was when the baby was born. So, I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, pardon the pun. But I mean, there's something going on. And so anyway, we're gonna stop there. And but if anybody has any questions, again, I'm gonna post this on YouTube. Put your questions underneath. We can address them next week, or I can address them right there, depending on what they are. However, this is my truth. And I need to get it out of the way. As I said, James Hetfield and Metallica have owed me money since 2004 for intellectual property. I have a lawyer who has contacted them directly. And we called Q Prime. And talk about Cliff Bernstein. Cliff Bernstein was seen at the Rush concert on Saturday night last week, and people were like, "Oh, look, it's Cliff Bernstein," and he's so epic. And I wrote underneath, I'm like, "Fuck that guy," because he. And then I said, because he, I called him and said that Lars was stalking me, and he never helped. So I had 12 more years of attempts on my life, and slander, and defamation, and gang stalking, and people. Everybody should look up the definition of gang stalking. Find somebody, it's an epidemic now. But what these is people are paid to stalk you and cause you as much drama as you can, hoping you will either get arrested, end up in the bug ward, or kill yourself. And the goal here was they wanted me to kill myself. And they did everything they could. They got me to fight with my roommate, so she left. They had women that were running around saying I was lesbian. Lars was calling my work, telling people that I was a drug addict and a prostitute. I went to school. Lars called. I was doing children's entertainment. Lars called there and told them that I was a pedophile. So he made my life a living hell. And these people owe me not only for the intellectual property that they stole, that my lawyer's going after them for, but they also owe me for pain and suffering, for stalking. And Lars did it from 1998, but James did it from 2012. And James could have fucking stopped all this and made it not happen at all. But instead, he decided that he was too cheap and didn't want to pay me, or that he believed Lars because he's a drunk. and he believed Coke had Lars instead of thinking, God, why would she do that? And there was like, my friends were like, this is not like, my friend Rob, when we went to Down, he said, I'm playing this game on South Park. Now, South Park's in Colorado, everyone. So he said, I'm playing this game on South Park. It's called The Stick of Truth. So, yeah. I mean, like, there were hints given to me as to what was going on. James was trying to figure it out. My point was why didn't you just fucking come to me? Because nobody came to me. The only person who ever came to me was Reed Mullen. Reed Mullen came to me one time after, because I had told the guys in COC in 2012, and Pepper went, well, Woody told Pepper, and Pepper told James. And that's when, and Reed said to me, Marianne, have you ever stolen anything? Because Lars apparently was telling people that the night that we went out in 1998, when I caught him cheating on his wife, that he had, I had reached in his wallet and stolen $1,500 cash. Now, that's technically impossible because he was wearing fucking spandex pants. He had
I could want to sleep with Lars.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's just like, I mean, I went.
Pay people for this?
Yeah, they paid. This is the thing. They were paying people. Like, this Lars came up with every lie in the book, and then he's got this cokehead wife Jessica, who's, you know, she's just like such a manipulative bitch, right? And when they got engaged, I called her a gold digger because I called it, right? She was a has-been model, and she latched her trade onto Lars because they were fucking friends in cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. No.
A little bit of Eric Clapton.
So, I mean, Lars did everything he could to defame me. And in the end, he was arrested after the Zazula show, which I've shown the video of before. He walked off stage and he was arrested by the FBI, the U.S. Marshal, and the the Royal Merchant Navy Secret Service for crimes against humanity, the torture of a human being, as well as human sex trafficking, which is what I was telling Rexi yesterday, because he was going around. In 2004, I gave Lars an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, to have a meeting with him to discuss my ideas. Now, instead of having that meeting, Lars had his fans like Neil Morgan and Danny Bertha, and I'm gonna have a list. I got to write down.
These are fans?
Brad Privet. These are fans. These are people in the fan club. They all fucking Timo. They all stalked me for Lars. Since 2000. The first one was in 2000. This guy, Brad Privet from Michigan. I was in Detroit with my friends, and Brad, I just met him there. We got along really well. I ended up meeting up with him again in 2004 to go to two concerts, one at the Silver Dome and one Summer Sanitarium shows, and one in Toronto. I brought him to Toronto. Little did I know that he was working for Lars, and he went back, and I made a shirt. This is when Robert first started, okay? So when Robert first started, I was like doing the kid of divorce, right? Like, you're not my dad. You're not my bass player. And I said, he looks like fucking an ape. And he does. He's got great big long arms. And I said, so I had a shirt because it's Summer Sanitarium. And I said it was Summer Bananatarium because it looked like an ape. Like, I mean, I wasn't being, but from that and the fact that, are you ready for this? I had braids in my hair because I was traveling, right? So I had braids in my hair. So Vicky Strait, the head of the Metallica fan club, who now is one of the board members of All Within My Hands, the charity, which was my idea. No, they've got the concept differently, but said that they needed a charity, and they laughed at me and said, you know, oh, because they had lost so much money from James going into rehab that they thought they were the fucking charity, and that's why he was stealing from me. So Vicky stole from me too. I faxed in a idea for a lanyard, and in September of 2020, September of 2004, that lanyard went on sale. And at that same time, I was contacted by a guy named Danny Bertha. And Danny Bertha, he's the one who kicked me out when I went to the Metallica anniversary party in 2011. On the fourth night, I was walking. I knew there was something going on because we all met at the bar beforehand, and the air was so thick. I knew something was happening. And I had said to Neil, you know what? I don't think I'm going to go tonight. And he said, no, you're going. Right. I was like, I don't know. And so anyway, I ended up going. We get in there, and what we would do is, like, at the Fillmore's, like the main floor, and then the main area would go for the band. But upstairs they had like a museum, and the museum had like all cool stuff anyway. So, so we were going up to the museum because it was kind of fun because it was right beside the VIP lounge. So like there's like anybody famous, you could fucking yell at them, and anyway, as I was heading up the stairs, Danny Bertha roughly grabbed my arm and said, "Come with me." And he dragged me outside and he said, "You can't be here. You're not part of this is a Met Club only party." Now that's bullshit because there were people there that weren't in the Met Club. And I tried to contact the people that I was with and said I just got thrown out. And they're like, "Bye, bye," because they were all in on it. And I guess what he was hoping, the idea was that I was supposed to argue with them, and then Lars was going to come out and say, "Hey, whatever," because I guess James had found out. Anyway, but what happened instead was I said to Danny, I said, "Well, I'm not fighting with you. Fuck off." And I went off to have sushi and some Pinot Grigio and get my, and Neil, I was sharing a hotel room with Neil Morgan, and I fucking trashed the hotel room. Like, I just trashed his stuff, not the hotel room. But yeah, like I pissed in his luggage. I'm not going to lie.
Oh.
I was mad. Well, I mean, I spent $3,000 to travel to this thing. We went to the HQ barbecue in San Rafael. Like I was inside Metallica's HQ.
It's traveling around with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just don't fucking ditch me. That's all. Right. But no, but I mean, hell hath no fury like a fucking woman scorned. I mean, I was, it was, anyways, I was so pissed.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I did it. Speaking, okay, that's the birthday wishes for this week is my friend Jason Cleves and Johnny Depp, my friend Daffy, as well as Callie.
Like, Marianne and Amber Heard, kind of like
we can get into that another time. that's too close. But yeah, and the other thing I did, and I hope you did this, Neil. I'm just going to tell you now. I used to know an urban legend where it was this one where this guy went on vacation and he got his room robbed, and the only thing that was left was his toiletry bag and his camera. And so when he got home, he developed the film, and the robbers there was a photo of the robbers, and they had his toothbrush up their ass. Guess what I did?
What did you do?
I shoved his toothbrush up my ass.
Oh, that's nice.
And then just left it I hope he brushed his teeth with it. Oh. Anyway, I was mad, man. I was fucking mad. And it wouldn't surprise me if the room was bugged anyway. The other thing I did was I called my friend Kevin in Toronto on the hotel phone and left it off the hook. So huge phone. I called my friend Kevin in Toronto and told him what happened. Uh-huh. And time differences, so it was like, I don't know, midnight. Right. And I was like, just fucking leave your phone off the hook. I'm going to leave this phone off the hook. So then the bill, maybe a phone call since in the hotel. Yeah, so I cranked his phone bill. Okay. So, but Lars probably paid for it anyways because Leo Morgan was working for Lars. He stalked me. Neil Morgan stalked me internationally. He actually came to Toronto and said that he wanted to go to the Machine Head show. This in 2005. I bought tickets to the show, and then he ditched me, and I had to go to the show by myself. And that night, Rob Flynn pretended like he didn't have a voice. And it was like, anybody who knows the words to the songs, come up and sing. So it was like Lars was trying to make me out to be a poser because I didn't know the words to any Machine Head songs. So where do you start? The thing is like, you have to go to a show to see whether or not you like them. And then you decide, that's how you start your relationship with a band. It wasn't like I was walking in there going, "Oh yeah, I'm a fucking big Machine Head fan." It was like I was invited to the show and I was like, sure, why not? So yeah, that's what Lars was doing, was everything I did, I was a poser. He had people, I told you this as well. He had people in my apartment. I had a room to rent. There was a girl named Michelle. She went by Mitch. She had her friends with her. I let her and this girl Diamond and her girlfriend sleep in my room. They went through my stuff, and Lars told them to steal my Testament shirt and my Death Angel shirt that I had just gotten. And when Mitch left, she took the laces out of my Iron Maiden shoes. So, yeah.
Lars is a dork. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to know the words to every song in a band that you're not really into, but you're not allowed to go see a band you're not into.
Oh, he was just such a. That was the thing. Like Lars was always like,
he was live music. He was just so stupid.
Yeah, well, he's the biggest poser of them all. I mean, he can't play drums. When he started Metallica, he could not play drums. It's a fucking fact. And it's out on, if you watch VH1 Behind the Music, they talk about it. That the day that they started the band, he could not play. So that's why the fake Lars has had such an easy time with, he's got his backing drum tracks, but he also had 4 months where he had to learn the songs, and that's enough time to learn drums. He was learning before that. James told me he had the idea to set Lars up in the summer or just before that, because Jerry Cantrell told me too. They didn't tell me what they were doing, but there are pictures of it, and I'll get them for next time. But Jerry and him, there's pictures of them in Europe, and Lars said that Jerry was his best friend. There's an It's Electric. I'll get it all together if everybody wants. You let me know if you guys want to hear this shit. And Jerry was making him believe that they were family, right? Lars used to call his best friend. Now, he called Lane Staley his best friend too, but he let Lane Staley rot for 2 weeks and then named his son after him, like as if they were close. Now, if my best friend was dying of drug addiction, which my friend Kevin can tell you, he was, and everybody didn't care. And then I saw him one day and I was like, show me your fucking arms, and I got him into fucking detox, and the thing was that it's the same, like, Jerry and Mike Starr and them, they were all using, so that they weren't the people to help, but Lars wasn't. Lars is using cocaine that nobody knew about, his little closet cocaine problem. But, where was he for Lane? He wasn't there, same as his mom, Nancy. She wasn't there, but they both want to ride the vapor trails afterwards. So anyway, after Lane died, all of a sudden, Jerry's his best friend. And in this, he calls Jerry his best friends up. Now, I'm a big fan of Jerry Cantrell. Everybody knows that, I hope. If you don't, yeah. I am. I love him very much. I think he's a great man. He has the most integrity in rock and roll that I know of. And I adore him. I think he's a mastermind when it comes to guitar playing. And I think the entire group of Alice in Chains are a band of, and because I've worked with their staff, the tour manager helped me get a kid, Fetty, like last week, Adam Fetisoff, the tour manager of Alice in Chains, helped me get Fetty backstage in 2009. So I have had experience with the Alice in Chains people, and Jerry's known me since 2009, and they just have a lot of integrity. And I'm proud to say that I was able to have them help me through a guy named Tom Sackhill. So so anyway, they over the summer of 2022, that's when they were starting to set it up. Oh yeah, it was like after August of 2022 when we had that Discord chat, because they were told, they were telling people that I was a transgender lesbian pedophile on meth, and that they wanted to do these medical tests and erase my brain and bring me back as a normal citizen, and they figured that was my
normal citizen of Canada.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. It's going to make, that's what my book's about, it's part of my book. First part of my book goes from 1998 to 2014, which are years of stalking. And then from 2014 to now is when my mother lured me up to her house in Kemble, and all of the stuff that happened after that. There's some politics involved in it, so I don't want to put a target on my back until the truth is revealed, but it will be revealed. And at that point, that's what I'm going to be doing, things like making sure my mother goes to prison, making sure that Callie is charged, making sure that Errol Truslin loses his lawyer's license, and making sure that Matt does some time in prison as well. Like, there will be a gap in them raising their son, and I'm going to make fucking sure of that. And on that note, that's the end of that. And so now we're going to move on. So let's move on.
She'll probably piss in your laundry.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Watch out. Watch out. My bladder is even weaker than it was then.
With those toothbrushes.
I'm always hydrating. Just fucking remember that, people.
Speaking of,
I'm always fully hydrated, so watch out. Don't fuck with me.
Jerry, I'm sitting here looking at, while here, I kind of like looking at the TV, and I got YouTube going on here, and there's my stream, and there's Alice in Chains and Heart doing the Rooster.
Oh my God, I've never seen that before.
The first concert with the band, and I'm like, I didn't know Jerry did a jam with Heart.
Oh, well, Heart are from Seattle. Jerry's from Seattle. Alice in Chains is from Seattle.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, him and Nancy Wilson are like really close.
Really?
Oh yeah, like big
good.
Sister kind of thing, big sister vibe. There's a video of Jerry. I'll get it all together. We'll do it in praise of Jerry Cantrell. Although I would love to do that. Do an in praise of Jerry Cantrell segment. And there's one of him, Sammy Hagar, and Nancy Wilson, and they're playing acoustics. And it's just and it's when he cut his hair with, which is when I sort of we sort of knew each other or started to get to know each other, because I said, how is it possible that a guy can be as even more attractive when he cuts all his hair off than Jerry Cantrell. So, he's a great guy, and yeah, that's very interesting. The Rooster, of course, is his father, Jerry Cantrell Sr.
Right.
Jerry's a junior, and his father was a Vietnam veteran. He was a sniper in Vietnam. So the story, it's all about him. Yeah, it's a very interesting story. He wrote that apparently when he was homeless and staying with Chris Cornell and Susan Silver, who was Chris Cornell's manager as well as the mother of Lily, his first daughter. So she managed. Well, she managed. I think she still does manage Alice in Chains and like Pearl Jam. Everybody. Like she was like they call her Queen of Seattle.
I've always thought of Jerry as more of a real American kind of guy.
Well, Merkin, yeah, he's Merkin for sure. I mean,
American.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's from Tacoma, right? And I know that he's a patriot. I mean, what he did for me, just shows what a patriot he was. And when the truth reveals itself, you'll see. As I said, I've already asked if he could have the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's how much he did. And, he put himself out there. He lied to Lars and made him believe that they were best friends. And in that he gained his trust, and which allowed Lars to set himself up. And Lars thought he was going to get knighted. So he just thought, because he didn't know that anybody, well, when we did the Discord chat, that was when I told everybody, because I hadn't told anybody about Lars's affair and that I had seen him cheating and that he'd been after me ever since. I never told anybody. And so when we did the Discord chat, there was a bunch of people in it. It was like a 15-hour chat that we had. Bob Ritchie was there, Jared Leto, all the people that I had sent ideas to, they were all in the chat, as well as Evelyn was there, and Jessica was there as well. They were on and off. And Dave Grohl was there, and Jerry was there, and Chad Kroger was there, and Kirk Hammett was there. And at one point, they said, because I kept saying, fuck you, Lars, because I kept thinking there's somebody there that was Lars. I kept saying, go fuck yourself, Lars, fuck you. And they said, what has Lars done? And that's when I said, I caught Lars cheating on his wife in 1998 when she was 8 months pregnant, and he's been after me ever since. And right after that,
I did hear from Mick talking about Jerry Cantrell.
Oh yeah, okay, well no, because Jerry was involved in it, right? And that and in the Discord chat. I'm always all over the
direction I was planning on going in.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, there we go. Okay, so anyway, we're done with this now. We've spent an hour on it. I apologize, everybody. I hope you're still watching, because now we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to talk about Anika Niles and Lauren Gold, but primarily Anika Niles. And I'm just going to show a little bit. First, I'm going to show the drum fill from Tom Sawyer and just the smile on her face. First time I saw this, I started crying. I was just so happy. She just nailed it. And I mean, as Dave writes, I know everybody can fucking nail it, but I mean, she just did it. And it just like, she's just great. Like, she's just amazing. And then I'm just going to show the first 5 minutes of the opening of the first show. They opened with Xanadu, which is a fucking really hard song to play on percussion. And it's pretty great. So we'll watch 5 minutes of that, but we're going to watch the drum fill from Tom Sawyer now. Any comments, Rex? Or do you want to watch the drum fill first?
Nah, just play it.
All right, here we go. There she is. Beautiful Anika Niles. Okay, let me just get in here. Okay. Oop, gotta back it up.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
Yeah, everybody's seen this, but I gotta add it to my show so then I can say I've seen it. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, this is great footage. I've got a picture of her kit to show later. Okay. So she nailed it.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she fucking nailed it. Now I don't think that's the first night, because the first night when she nailed it, she has the biggest smile on her face. She looks like the cat that ate the canary. And she didn't do it that night. She was probably just into it. But anyway, she did a great job. And all the all the naysayers and the disbelievers, they can all kiss my ass now because she did a great job. I'm super excited for every Rush fan out there that's getting to see this show. I'm a bit jealous. I can't afford tickets. There's no way. I've seen how much the tickets. I couldn't afford the tickets even at face value. But
how much are the tickets for?
Well, they go from anywhere from like $1,200 and up. $1,200 at. So there's some tickets for like $350 US. But the Toronto show, of course, Toronto shows are like going to be the most popular. It's impossible to get tickets, and I think they started at like $375 for the nosebleeders. And I just don't have that. It's like I don't have money to go see Iron Maiden either. And I would love to see it. It's Megadeth, Iron Maiden, and Anthrax. And I would love to see that. But the floor tickets are $700.
My God.
And I just can't do it. I just like that's my fucking rent. You know, like I just can't. And everybody's like, "Oh, fuck, that's cheap rent." It's like, yes, I'm lucky. That's the only way I've been able to reestablish myself after what Callie did to me. So yeah, it's just, you know, I mean, I don't have that kind of money. I mean, I wish I was still doing the rock journalism and see if I could squeeze in that way. But you know, even then, it's just, you know, these are really big bands that are doing really big shows, and you know, there are fans that have money for these tickets, and I say more power in the world to you. I'm not jealous at all. I cheer every fan on. I'm on a Rush Facebook group now, and I see the haters, right? Or the people who think they're Mr. Big Shot because they got a front row ticket and they paid $1,200 or $2,400 for the package. And you know, I mean, I don't think it's that way. I think this is you know, where they're like talk about Anika, and they don't give Mr. Gold enough appreciation. But you'll hear him and Xanadu at the very beginning, of course. You know, a lot of people are, well, I mean, they're flexing, right? And it's like, it's very immature. Metallica fans do it a lot, especially in the Metallica club. Metallica fans flex all the time, and it's boring as far as I'm concerned. I've seen them this many times. I used to lie just to fucking fit in with them, right? Yeah. I mean, I used to lie just to, and I ended up, like I said, I've seen them over 30 times, which is too fucking many. And
that's it. You know, actually, when you hear somebody say like, "Oh, I sound like Metallica like 40 times," it's like, well, you had nothing better else to do with your money.
Yeah, I didn't apparently.
What the hell? How many times do you need to see a band? You know, I mean, I could see you want to see them like maybe once every tour. You know.
Yeah.
But if you're talking like 34.
Well, I saw them on the Saint Anger tour, but the reason why I kept going to the shows was because I had given Lars the NDA, and I was hoping that if he saw my face at all the shows, that he would know I was serious. And I worked the fan club booth 3 times. I worked it in Calgary, in Ottawa, and Toronto. So, I mean, these people knew who I was. They knew what I was up to. But whatever Lars had already told them, because in 2000, I lied to Vicky. She had just become Met Club president. Now, the rule used to be that it was only fan club members that worked at the Met Club. When she came, it was when they moved to San Rafael, and she's like, "I'm not even a Metallica fan. Pearl Jam's my favorite band." I was like, "Then why are you here? Why are you president of the fan club?" So I fucking lied to her and said, "Oh, this is my 50th show. Give me a backstage pass." And I met James that day, and Kirk and Jason, but Lars wouldn't come out because he was mad because I lied.
He's fucking dumb.
He's a fucking child, right? He was just a fucking man child. So anyway, but yeah, so you know, I mean, right now with the Rush fans, you know, I mean, something's happening that a lot of Rush fans never thought was going to happen. I never thought it was going to happen again. I never thought that. Like I watched Alex Lifeson over the last 11 years chomp at the bit and do little gigs with like Rick Emmett. He did Resolution 9. He did a song, and I interviewed Rick Emmett and asked him for Alex Lifeson's phone number. I still want it. But you know, I mean, and so I've seen him chomping at the bit. He had a band as well. Getty wasn't really doing anything. And so for them to, you know, I mean, first Getty was saying that there were actually people approaching him, asking him to fucking play drums for the band. How do you know, how arrogant, like how distasteful, you know, I mean, you know, and so, you know, so that was obviously a no, but when they decided that they were going to do it, like, I still don't know how the inception of finding Anika was. Anika's from Germany, and she's 42. And so she just, however they picked her, it was announced pretty much about a year ago that it was announced, and that's when the tickets started to sell. I was so optimistic about it, and it superseded anything that I actually thought was going to happen. So.
Mhm.
I really, so we're just going to watch 5 minutes of the Xanadu, and then we can move on to whatever you want to talk about. So here we go. Enjoy, everybody. I believe this is the first night, and this is the first song they ever played. So this is sort of the affirmation that they were back. Just so cool anyway with all the visuals.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be up front. I don't think I do front row ticket justice.
Get your second-hand sausages here. Sausages. Get your slightly used sausages here. Come on. Come and grab my sausage. Oh, hello.
Hi, Gershon.
Yes, what can I do for you?
How about a map?
I got lots of crap, including a map. Beautiful map. Who are you trying to find? Rush. Right. This one will tell you where those bums live. Yeah? I give you this map, but you pay me if you make it back. All right, now move along. I got the business to run. Come on. Sausages.
Hey, Likes!
Yeah, what?
Look who's coming here!
What kind of birds are they? They look spooky.
Do you know where Rush is?
You looking for Rush, huh? You looking for Rush?
Well, you came to the right place. Unfortunately.
We might be dumb bites, but those guys are not spring chickens.
Look out! You don't know what you're in for!
I salute you, men and go. Are you going somewhere? Got donuts? I do have donuts, yes.
Hey, he's got donuts. Ingve doesn't have donuts.
Where's Ingve?
Just kidding, one more. No, have this one. Yeah, no, forget it. You don't deserve donuts.
Man.
You have to earn donuts.
I haven't seen this part.
Like me.
Oh, run! Slap in the face. You've seen that skip, right?
Because you're real. We were just jamming out to a little Tom Sawyer, and we didn't disturb you. We played pretty loud. Yeah, Sydney's an axe man. I've been known to slap
in the
on
face.
left high, deep on knock down. Slap in his chicken. Thanks. Are you guys kids or just little? We were gonna, maybe keep playing. I'm hoping Alex and Kid sit in for a little jam session. Maybe set us free.
How long have you guys been here?
Oh, I don't think that long. Yeah, 15 years, maybe? Has it been that long? I think it's been that long. A long time. I mean, that's a long time. It's a really long time, yeah. Hey, I will say this though, kids. Time stands still when you're with your best kid. That's a rush, it's all right. It's not a big deal. That wasn't a big deal. It's pretty cool. I see what you did. Thanks. Man, I love playing with you. I love slapping something, to be honest with you. And I love you, man. Thanks a lot. I feel like my heart's gonna explode out of my chest, man. I love you, Brokeback Mountain. I love you, Jake Gyllenhaal. It's not it, this one. I can't quit you, Jake Gyllenhaal. Damn it. Try again. I love you, Sid. Sid, me Sweeney. Nice one. Thanks. That's all right. That's all right. Where are you guys going? We're gonna play something.
No thanks.
Fly by night away from shore. Change my life.
We are rehearsing. Now shut the fucking door.
This new dude.
Got any tools?
No. Go fishing.
What? Go fish.
Fish.
Are you guys Rush? Yeah, I know. Disappointing.
You guys want to jam?
Jam. Wanna jam? You're funny. That's a good one, kid. Where's that guy going? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Don't touch that. Hey, don't.
Kimonos! It's the kimonos from 2112.
The fuck? You did it now.
I think I peed again.
Yes, you did.
That was fucking cool. Oops, fuck up. Sorry. Everybody. Oh, fuck. Sorry, guys. I did it again. Sorry. This is the first night, first song. that was great. Okay, so we took 11 minutes. I have no rights over that. I got it off of the YouTube, and let me just see if I can find the person's name. I had it who made that video. If not, I'll find it for next week, and I will give them credit. But those are everything that I'm showing today. I do not have any rights over. It's not all. I have no copyrights or anything like that. I'm just showing them because it's fun. What did you think, Rex? Would you go?
Cool. That was really interesting.
Have you ever been to a Rush show?
No, I always wanted to go. Never ever got that opportunity for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always hear about people saying you got to see Rush. It's going to be a great show and everything. And I always wanted to go, but the thing is, it just never fell in my lap.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Somebody might get nice to us and offer us to go this time. Because they probably would. Yeah, can you imagine? Like that'd be pretty cool. Because they'd have to be. They'd be like, we all want to see what Rexi looks like, so let's invite her to a Rush show. It's okay. She's beautiful, so don't worry about it, guys.
Oh yeah.
But listen to her. She's so anyway. Yeah. So as you see, that was like I didn't even see that opening credit part, which is really fun. I've seen them a few times. I saw the Grace Under Pressure tour in 1992. I was 92, 93, so I was about 14, 15 when I saw them the first time. And actually, a very funny story about me on LSD. And we were up in the greens section. It's like it goes gold, red, greens, right? At Maple Leaf Gardens when it was open. So we were in the greens, and I was so high on acid, right? Which was back then. Rush was using lasers, so it was like, and like in the 80s, it was like lasers were new, so like, lasers, okay. And so I was eating an ice cream.
They always sound like that.
Any excuse to drop acid was an excuse for me. Oh, it's Tuesday, okay. But can I say, escapism was my thing. At least that makes me egoless, right? I figured the psychedelics will help me a lot with the torture that they put me through. Anyway, so we were at the show, and Tom Cochrane and Red Rider opened, which was fine. And for whatever reason, I used to get ravenous on acid. So anyway, they had ice cream sandwiches. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, ice cream sandwich. And I got shit running down my arm, and I'm eating it and everything, and the lights go down. And I was so excited, I didn't even think about it. I threw the sandwich. So there's somebody out there, if you're listening, I'm right here. I apologize. Somebody's Rush concert in 1992 or 3, whenever with Grace Under Pressure tour was, began with them getting an ice cream sandwich in the back of the head.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, it can't take you anywhere.
No. I mean, not really. I've went to Motorhead. Not the last time I saw Motorhead, but the one before that.
Of course.
Yeah, we went to Motorhead and
there with a fucking chocolate chip freaking ice cream sandwich.
Oh yeah, well the chocolate ice cream fucking because at Motorhead we started a huge water fight. We just the bartender was being a bitch, so my buddy grabbed like a case of water and we just started handing them out and whipping them at everybody, and then we started this huge water fight, and yeah, it was like in true Motorhead fashion, like Lemmy would have been proud. So
yeah, I've seen Motorhead in concert. That's not bad.
Yeah, they're fun. Like the thing about Motorhead is that, like, this is something we're going to talk about today, but we'll talk about next week, which is overproduction on live performances. But Motorhead was always like, what you see is what you get. They weren't even wearing earplugs. They weren't even wearing PAs in their ears. Like they just got out there and just fucking served it to everybody. And I believe Dave Grohl's the same way with the Foo Fighters. He doesn't wear PA. So and that was when he could for example, when I saw Motorhead and Corrosion to Conformity in 2005 at the Docks, I was way up close, and Lemmy said, "This is a song off our new album," and I went, "Woo!" And he looked at me and he goes, "That's exactly the right answer," right? And I was like, "Yay, let me talk to me." So, but for me, I've seen Rush probably about 4 or 5 times, and every time it's just incredible. Like I went to see them during the Vapor Trails tour, which is when I don't know if you're familiar with the sort of story of Neil Peart. He has a great book called Ghost Rider, and it talks about the beginning of he had a daughter who was going to school in Montreal, and on her way to university, first year, she got in a single car motor vehicle accident, perished. And within 10 months of that, his wife, the mother of his daughter, perished as well. So he was left alone, and he was such a vivid writer. Like everything about him was very vivid. And so when you read this, he basically said he had drank so much that he either was going to get out of that house and save his life, or he was going to die and drink himself to death. And so he got on his motorcycle and he traveled all over North America. And it talks about his travels through North America. He has a wonderful part where he talks about going to Alaska, and it's so vivid that you can smell the fish. Like he just such a great writer. No, well, just like the guy was cleaning fish while he was sitting outside having his lunch or whatever, and just the way he describes everything. I mean, he was such a great songwriter, but he's also an amazing storyteller, and he's so missed. Like it's just very sad. But Vapor Trails. What had happened was after his daughter and his wife had perished, he said, I can't play anymore. Right. I'm just not into it. And they were like, understood, like we understand. Right. And then after he took this cycling tour, he contacted them and said, hey, I'm wondering if I could get my job back. And they were like, sure. And that's when Vapor Trails came out. And so that was the first time we got to see him again. That was the last time I saw Bytor and the Snow Dog live. But it was and especially because it's Toronto. Neil Peart is from Port Dalhousie, which is just outside of Niagara Falls. And his father owned a plumbing supply company. So that's kind of how he got into percussion, was like banging on tubes and stuff. So, and that's, so I sort of know like all the useless trivia on Rush just because they're like a hometown band to me. Like it's been a really special year because Triumph just finished their tour and they're from Toronto as well. And another one of my favorite bands. And so to see both of them come back out and just celebrate the music, like no one's comparing anybody. And Triumph had extra members, extra guitar players, extra drummer, because Mike Levine couldn't even play, the bass player. But, I mean, they were honestly, they were honest about their limitations, and in that they were able to bring in these other amazing musicians and celebrate Triumph music. And it really worked out. I think Dave Wright went. We're going to have to get Dave on. I need you two to meet at the meeting of the minds of you two for Randy Rhoads. And then, but he went to the Triumph show and he said it was just fucking amazing. And he's going to see Rush. So lucky duck. The Rock Oracle on X. So there you go. So that's it. So that's all that's exciting. So I guess that's it for the day. I wasn't expecting my rant about Cali to go on for so long. But so if you got a ticket to Rush, would you go?
Maybe, depends.
Okay. Keep that in mind. So if I get rich between now and when the tour's over. Right? Fucking if Metallica pays me, I'll take you to Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be holding my breath though.
Don't, you'll turn blue and die.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll just wrap it up here and then I'll call you on the phone. We're gonna wrap it up and I'm gonna end the show. I was gonna play a bass stream, but I'll pay it next week if I feel like it. I don't want to end it in that mood. So I'm gonna show you now is a film by a guy named Ted Camp. And it's called Dad Band, and it has Jerry Cantrell in it. And I used to have a joke with Jerry, and you guys will get it at the end of the short. It's about 12. I think it's about 12 to 17 minutes. Can't remember. Anyways, I am wife number 5, and I love Rush. And so that's what I sent a note to Jerry Cantrell one time. I said, Jerry, I am wife number 5, and I love Rush. So you guys will get that after it. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging in there and putting up with us and my ranting. And next week, we're going to talk about production, live production, and whatever other shit comes up during the week. So thank you, Rexi, as usual. I know you've seen this already, so you don't need to stay.
All right.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, everybody, just have a good weekend. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Deuces. And stick around for this. Stick around for this video because it's fun. Okay. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Enjoy, everybody.
Ames, what's up, man?
Looks awesome.
Yeah, right?
Am I the first one here?
Yeah.
Hello.
Back here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, Terry? Abel, Terry.
Oh, hey, man. Like from the biker show, right?
Huh?
Your name, like from Sons?
Oh, it's from the Bible, actually.
Cool.
It comes from the word for breathing. Although in Arabic, it's derived from the term for a city in mourning.
Terry repiped the house.
Oh, yeah, he told me about you.
Oh, yeah, what'd he say?
That you played and plumbed.
Abe here is really into Wilco.
Oh. What's Wilco?
All right, let's jam. You want it? Yeah?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, garage, the neighbors.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Little pig, let me in. You bastards started without me.
You said you'd be here at 10 to help out.
You mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna stop by 7-Eleven, but morning got away from me.
Jimbo, Terry. Terry used to be in a band that actually...
I know, you told me. You drinking?
No,
Oh, I forgot. he had a little too much in the fourth. Deb took away his drinking privilege.
She didn't take away my drinking
I think she took his balls, too. I think she gets him in a jar in the house. Isn't that right, Abe?
I wouldn't know about balls.
Speaking of, where's Deb?
Inside, I think.
No, I came for the house. She's not in there.
PTA? I don't know. Did you bring a guitar?
Did I bring a guitar?
Whoa.
Yeah?
That's a damn fine axe house.
Where did you pay for that?
Dipped into the vacation fund.
You did what?
I'm gonna put it back. Don't have a bitch fit.
It's for the cruise, man.
You guys are taking a cruise?
Yeah, we got birthdays in October.
We're both turning 50. It's a milestone, I mean, the wives.
My birthday's in October.
Yeah, but you're not turning 50.
46 on the 18th of October.
Trisha's gonna be so pissed.
You don't worry about Trisha. Just don't say anything to Deb.
Yeah, but how are you gonna pay for this?
We're gonna book some gigs.
Are we gonna play something or kibitz?
Yiddish. Are you Jewish?
Nah. Ex-wife. Third one.
Just hang on. Hang on.
What's with the fog?
It's atmosphere.
Don't you think we ought to concentrate on playing something?
I have some really good ideas for some covers.
No. No covers. We talked about this. Look, I said the only way that I was going to do this was as a vehicle for my own voice. That's originals.
We don't have originals.
Yeah, we do. We most certainly do.
Holy shit.
How many songs is that?
One.
What key?
Huh?
What key is it in?
It's in G, but it's before the modulation. The first section is G, and then there's a tau.
The neighbors.
1, 2, 3, 4. Look, it's not that difficult. It's a tom roll, it's a cymbal crash, it's 2 bars of rest, then you come back in at 8/12 time. Think Sing This X1 Book 2. No, better yet, think The Fountain of Lamnith, first section.
Jimbo, I think I can speak for everybody else when I say this is not what we signed up for.
We talked about this.
No, we talked about doing covers. We talked about doing classic stuff.
Like Wilco.
This is classic stuff. Terry, help me out here, man.
Dude, I love Rush too, but face it, chicks don't, all right? It took me longer to get my first wife to go to a Rush concert than it did to try anal. And she said never again.
To the concert?
It's one of the reasons we got divorced.
This is not Rush, though.
Dude, it sounds like Rush.
No chick is gonna fuck you to a Rush song. definitely not up the ass.
I'm not saying we can't do originals, okay? I just think that we need to be able to play together as a group, right?
Okay. Yeah. You want to sound like every other garage band in the country. It's all right with me.
Something simple.
Tom Sawyer.
No, simpler and not Rush.
How to Fight Loneliness by Wilco.
Simpler.
Hang on, Sloopy.
1, 2, 3, 4. Fucking Christ. It is a simple 1-4-5 song.
That's what I was doing.
Like fuck it is.
He's just trying to get through on the keyboard.
And you're playing too loud.
I'm too loud.
Yeah, you're too loud.
I'm too loud?
I am playing a Marshall Hashtag and I can't even fucking hear myself.
What key are we in?
Just follow me, man. I'll nod the chord changes for you, okay?
You know what? Why don't you teach him how to play drums while I take a piss?
Jesus.
Wow.
What the hell, dude?
I was just tuning it.
What the hell? You don't just lay your hands on another man's guitar?
It was out of tune.
The fuck it was.
It really was. I
like,
mean, it was
like you'd know.
Just trying to help, man.
No, it's like another man's wife. You don't just touch another man's wife.
I'm not married.
He's divorced, remember?
at least twice.
4 times.
It doesn't matter how many times he's been divorced. I am just trying to make a point. How would you like it if I had just helped myself and fucked your wife?
Hey,
Come on.
he's not
now.
talking
Just
about fucking
stop
anybody's
with this
wife
fuck your
here.
wife, because it's like we're lucky to have this guy playing with us.
Why? Because he was in some shitty band that toured
They got signed.
and dropped.
Look, man, just take your damn guitar, all right? No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul. Fuck you, condescending cunt. Big Mr. Rockstar.
Hey, at least he knows what he's doing.
Oh, he does. The plumber knows what he's doing.
Yeah, pretty much. Hot on the left, cold on the right, shit runs downhill. That's plumbing in a nutshell.
I know what I'm doing. I played with Stuart Copeland. You might have heard of his band. They were called the Police.
Once. It happened once at a party.
Stuart said I was great. He said I had licks. He did. I kept the pick.
We know you kept the pick. We've heard this story a million
And
times.
I brought
you
it
know.
tonight for good luck because I thought maybe when our...
Are those Deb's panties?
No. What would I be doing with your wife's panties?
Those are Deb's panties. I bought those for her on Valentine's Day. You motherfucker! Fuck that!
Fuck you!
said no way.
Fuck you!
Hell no.
Yeah, I did it! Yeah, I did!
I thought I heard music. Are you guys a band?
Yeah, we're a band.
They were cool in 1983. Now they're balding and can barely see. But we can't help but feel a little sad at the desperation we see. in our dads. They started a
dad band. Middle-aged men who think they're cool. Dad band. Hope to play the fundraiser at school.
They all hate their jobs. What a bunch of knobs.
Dad band. Could anything even be sadder? Dad band. They're getting grayer, getting